I'm going to tell you a story. The first thing you have to understand is time doesn't work the way you think it does. You can call me Oracle because I'm the one who's talking to you. Welcome to the call. Alright. So, I discovered something. I was doing a little bit of research for what would become this episode. And, it was on the pituitary gland. Now, like, a lot of people associate the pituitary gland with the third eye. I'm not entirely sure why that is. I'm going to take some guesses as to it having to do with regulation of melatonin and because here's the thing, it's actually not up here. It's more like at this level, but like back here-ish. So the pineal gland from Wikipedia is a small endocrine gland in the brain of most vertebrates. In the darkness, the pineal gland produces melatonin, a serotonin-derived hormone which modulates sleep patterns following the diurnal cycles. So, something that inherently makes sense, the pineal gland being connected to like magic stuff and mystical stuff and that sort of thing, is because it relates to dream cycle. I mean, because it relates to sleep patterns and sleep cycles. It relates to REM sleep, and it relates to Spopna. And if you've like been watching previous episodes, that means it basically is the part of your brain, your mastica, that it's the like Mopsigrantha mastica, like the gland in your brain. Adha, so to speak. That is, I guess you could say, the most magical because it connects you to, like it's directly connected to dream space. I mean, if it's connected to your sleep cycles and helps you modulate them, then essentially it helps you modulate going into, like, we spend a third of our lives affected. Like, I mean, yeah, some of us spend less. That's fine. I mean, it's not really that good for us, but like, um, we spend a significant portion of our time asleep, and that's fine. We need to do it. But by the same token, that also means that a solid portion of our lives we are spending dreaming. And I'm not talking about the waking dream that we're in right now. We spend a third of our lives asleep in REM. And like the way like if you understand how Kabbalah works, I explained it previously in a different episode. Like Yesod 9, the foundation is the Mahasvapna, like it is. It is the great dream. Like so effectively by Kabbalistic philosophy, dream space is the foundation of physical reality. So when we dream, we make sure the physical reality that we wake up to exists, essentially. Like, I mean, not really, but kind of, like metaphysically speaking. And like, so pineal's kind of an important part of your brain. At least, like, I mean, it's a very important part of your brain in terms of what it does medically. Here, let me read some more for you. So, it's present in all vertebrates, but is absent in photochordates, which there is a simple pineal homolog. The hagfish, considered as a primitive vertebrate, has a rudimentary structure regarded as a pineal equivalent in the dorsal diencephalon. In some species of amphibian reptiles, the gland is linked to a light-sensitive organ, or light-sensing organ, variously called the parietal eye, the pineal eye, or the third eye. So that might actually be why people associate it with the third eye in humans, because it's actually associated with a light-sensing organ in non-humans that is effectively a third eye and is actually even called that. And the ancient Greeks were the first to note that pineal gland and believed it to be a valve, a guardian for the flow of pneuma. Uh, Galen, in the second century Common Era, could not find any functional role and regard the gland as a structural support for the brain tissue. He gave the name conario, meaning cone or pine cone, which during Renaissance was translated to Latin as pinealis. 17th century, Rene Descartes revived the mystical purpose and described gland as the principal seat of the soul, and that's fascinating. As the Asana Atman. In the mid 20th century, the real biological role as a neuroendocrine organ was established. So that's fascinating. It was actually Descartes that not to put Descartes ahead of the horse, but apparently it was Descartes that sort of put into the modern frame set or modern mindset the notion that the pineal is connected to spiritual mystical stuff. All right, so it is pine cone shaped, unpaired midline brain structure, reddish gray in color, and about the size of a grain of rice in humans. It forms part of the epithalamus. It is attached to the rest of the brain by a pineal stalk. The ventral lamina of the pineal stalk is continuous with posterior commissure, and its dorsal lamina with the habenula commissure. So, yeah, I'm going to move on from there because a lot of that, it was fun to say, but yeah. All right. So, function. One function of the pineal gland is to produce melatonin. Melatonin has various functions in the central nervous system, the most important of which is to help modulate sleep patterns. Melatonin production is stimulated by darkness and inhibited by light. Light-sensitive nerve cells in the retina detect light and send the signal to the suprachiasmatic nucleus, synchronizing the SCN to the day-night cycle. Nerve fibers then relay the daylight information from the SCN to the paraventricular nuclei, PVN, then to the spinal cord via the parasympathetic system to superior cervical ganglia, SCG, and from there to the pineal gland. This is actually why most people actually have problems sleeping if there is a lot of bright light in the room. The compound pinealine is also claimed to be produced in the pineal gland. It is one of the beta carbolines. This claim is subject to some controversy. All right. Studies on roads suggest the pineal gland influences the pituitary gland secretion of sex hormones, follicle stimulating hormone, and luteinizing hormone. It is also important for the regulation of bone metabolism. All right, now, people talk about calcification of the pineal gland like it's a bad thing. All right, let's suppose it is a bad thing for a second, but it sounds scary as heck, especially when it's explained as such. Calcification of the pineal gland is typical in young adults and has been observed in children as young as 2 years of age. The internal secretions of the pineal gland are known to inhibit the development of reproductive glands because when it is severely damaged in children, development of the sexual organs and skeleton are accelerated. Pineal gland calcification is detrimental to its ability to synthesize melatonin. Yep, that's bad. And scientific literature presents inconclusive findings on whether it causes sleep problems. The calcified gland is often seen in skull x-rays. Calcification rates vary widely by country and correlate with an increase in age, with calcification occurring in an estimated 40% of Americans by age 17. Calcification of the pineal gland is associated with corpora arenicea, also known as brain sand. Brain sand! That sounds terrifying. Corpora arenicea, also called brain sand or acarvuli, are calcified structure in the pineal gland and other areas of the brain, such as the choroid plexus. Older organisms have numerous corpora arenicea, whose function, if any, is unknown. Concentration of brain sand increase with age, so the pineal gland becomes increasingly visible on x-rays over time, usually by the third or fourth decade. So, in theory, I should have at least enough in me by now for it to be visible on an x-ray. They are sometimes used as anatomical landmarks in radiological examinations. Chemical analysis shows they are composed of calcium phosphate, later characterized as hydroxyapatite, calcium carbonate, magnesium phosphate, and ammonium phosphate. recent calcite deposits have been described as well. Okay, so now that I've done that, if you've seen these before, you know that occasionally I put very specific Arahant mantra blessings on these. The one I did for this one, before I started this video, is Heaven's Broom, Brain Sand Heap, Sweep Clean. Yup, I'm sweeping away my brain sand. Sweeping it with Heaven's Broom. Pom, 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 pom. Boom, boom. Alright. This is Oracle. With that I'll be done. I'll sing myself out now. Dream safely out there. And if you've been sleeping off, maybe try sweeping out some brain sand. Take care. Dream safely out there. To all of you ye. Coming from here, from Oracle me.